Hello and welcome back to my channel. Last week I did my Angelina Jolie That to This transformation for the 2000s Oscars, but in the poll that I put out on my community tab, there was quite a few of you who voted that I do a classic Clairekookoo'd look but blue. And because it is so opposite of the Angelina Jolie look, I feel like it would be a good tutorial to do for this week, so I don't disappoint those of you who voted for me to do a classic me look. And if you're more of a clean girl or you like nude and simple looks, that Angelina Jolie tutorial is really good for that. I'll have it linked below for you to just click on over to. Also in my That to This playlist that this video should also be linked to. It should be an easy find. But without further ado, let's get into the Clairekookoo'd of it all. It's actually not even that dry. Right now it's 22% in my bedroom, but I do still have lots of dry skin on my face, so I'm going in with my Embryolisse Sensitive, which is just unscented, and I'm going to do a nice layer of the cream. And I do realize in last week's video, because I talked to you guys how I have a new monitor, and I was like, let's throw it back actually to that little clip. I feel like not concealing is going, I keep looking at myself, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try to look down at you guys. We're accentuating our eyes, and I do realize for the rest of the video, I still didn't make eye contact with you. So now this week I have a look down little note that's sitting on my monitor to really get me to look at you guys, the lens, and not myself. I am going in with my Pat McGrath Labs foundation. Just gonna give it a little shake up. The foundation is cheapest on the Pat McGrath Labs website. You can also find it on sale multiple times a year. Do not buy this foundation full price. Wait for a sale at Sephora. It is marked up way too expensive. I think last I saw it was $100. I got this for $63 on sale during Black Friday. Please don't buy it full price. I'm going in with my Makeup Forever 122 brush. It's like a stipple brush. They sell it under the like powder brush area if you're buying online, but I use it for foundation. It is beautiful with powder, but I don't know. When I buy brushes, I tend to dedicate it to one purpose. The only brushes I don't do that with actually are the Sephora Pro brushes. Like sometimes I'll use it with powder, sometimes I'll use it with cream. And see how easy this brush just glides the foundation on. And that's one pump gone. I tend to only ever need one pump of this foundation. Sometimes I might go in with another half pump. Today, I think I'm going to stick with the one. I tend to not conceal every single time I do my makeup, but for the sake of this video, I am. This is the only concealer that I use right now. This is the Kulfi concealer in the lightest shade Fudge Notch. And just for thinning out the concealer, I'm going to put a little bit of Strobe, about 1/2 of what the applicator is, and then I put the teeniest, tiniest dot of the Strobe cream. Today I have gone in with the UVlite purple. If we're going to be doing blue eyeshadow, then I think the purple reflective concealer could be fun. Basically, the more alien, the better. So for concealing, I probably should talk about it. I pick some up on my brush. Okay, and then I start low and kind of blend up and in. When I'm patient enough, I start low and blend up to where I want it to go. If you start right here, you're gonna put way too much product, and you might even find that throughout the day it cracks, or you blend it away once you start applying your eyeshadow. But if you start low and you just apply up as you need it, you'll start with very thin layers that dry. I also like to do the sides of my eyes. Doesn't really matter today because we are going in with blue eyeshadow. Favorite eyeshadow color if you're new here. And if you are new here and you find yourself enjoying this tutorial, I personally recommend subscribing and liking this video. I don't know that you liked the video unless you actually like it. So it is helpful on my end when you do those things. And I go in around my nose because I do have some spider lines down here. And this is how the face is looking without any setting powder. Oh yes, today's tea is very simple. It's just a green tea bag from I don't even know where. Not a fancy tea today. It's kind of funny. I drink so much good quality tea that when I do drink these kinds of like bagged green teas, they are not the same thing. They are not the same thing. If you really like green tea, do yourself a favor and buy it in a bag that's a loose leaf tea. Yes, it's more of a pain when you're in a rush, but I promise you it will taste so much better. Personally, I like the brand T Squared, but if you live near a Chinese grocery store or Asian grocery store, they also have plenty of bagged options. This is a step that, I don't know, sometimes it feels redundant, sometimes it doesn't. This is literally one of those reusable makeup squares instead of going through cotton pads. They have two sides. This is like the velour side, and this is like what happens to blankets when you wash them too many times. The velour side seems to be holding up well. It is just a polyester square. You could probably sew them yourself if you are good at that. But I use the velour side to kind of just pat over everything, and you'll see that the texture of my base kind of changes. I'm still quite glossy in the strobe cream zones. Picks up just if you've over applied a little bit, because I never really over apply base products anymore now that I'm getting older every day. I really can't get away with smacking a lot of product on my face, in my opinion. So taking this velour puff over really just helps lift off anything that doesn't want to stay down. And I always find for my skin, it really is like a good equalizer. This is just a blend of setting powders from a brand that shall not be named. I'm trying to use it up. I really don't think it does anything. Not the best quality powders I've ever used in my life. Paid for them, so I have to use them. If you are new to my channel, I always work off of a piece of paper towel every time I do my makeup, and it is used for dumping powder, tapping off eyeshadow brushes, everything. I use it throughout my application. This is separate from looking at the lens. I'm using myself as a mirror. I have a mirror here and a mirror here. This powder does have a tint to it, which I never really love. I do feel like sometimes the pigment can latch on. I'm going to spray with some Fix Plus. Cover you guys. I have been really loving this YSL Make Me Blush formula. This is the shade 44 Nude Lavalliere or Lavalliere. Can't remember which one it is. Really pretty. It's just like this beautiful, basic, it's not anything special shade, but I've been really loving the formula of it. I'm going to take 2 doe foots and I'm going to go in with this brush here, and I'm still working off of this palette, and it's quite simple. I apply blush the way blush is to be applied. Recently I've been liking taking it up to my eye. Is there a reason? I feel like it blends in with my eye looks more when I do that. And if you ever feel like you've gone too crazy, you can just take your foundation brush and just apply. Now today I am going to contour with powder only. Usually I do cream and powder, but I just want to feature this one palette, so I need it to be used solo. I have a big face, so I am going to use a larger brush. If you have smaller features, use a smaller brush. This is the Kaleidos contour palette in the shade S00 Fair. There is a fair colorway. Most people don't know that. They think light is the only light option. There is fair. I purchased this from Look Healthy Store. Look Healthy Store did take a month to ship to me, so always keep that in mind when you're buying directly from China. Shipping does take a while, but it's worth it in the long run. So I'm going to contour with the center shade, and I'm just picking it up on a brush, very simple. And I'm going to keep it on the lower half of my face. And it will make sense in a little bit. And I'm just patting. Unlike the Angelina Jolie tutorial, I am bringing it into my face because I want the whole cheek line, something to just get into it. And this powder is gorgeous if you're a beginner learning contouring because finely milled, and it has a light amount of pigment in it that it remains very buildable on your face. If you find with Western beauty brands, you always over apply your powder, contour, bronzer, you may really like this product. Once again, if you feel like you've gone crazy, you just flick around your foundation brush and that usually covers it. Now for the top half of my head, I'm going in with just like both shades. I feel like on the top half of your face, you can always get away with complexion being a little bit darker. And these powders are so gorgeously neutral that on my skin, it just marries so beautifully. And I like hollowing at my eyebrow to really get that chiseled in look. And you may be freaking out that I've been like using creams and powders and creams and powders and there's going to be so much texture. But if you let the products dry, you actually don't get weird lifting, moving, or like it looks like one piece of skin. And that's how you know you're doing makeup. This brush is a little bit too big to do my nose, so I'm going to grab something a little smaller, and just in the center contour shade of the palette, I'm going to contour at the base of my nose. It's a very Asian way of doing nose contour, actually. And right at the start of the nose bridge, and there's the contour there. For my under eye area, I'm going to take the blush brush we just used, and I'm going to pick up this highlight shade and just press into that under eye area. A little on the nose and a little between the brows. And sweep off the excess. A little bit of a matte highlight. I wish I could do my eyebrows today. I was hoping that for this week's video, my new makeup products would have been delivered by now, but they're being held up. One product apparently wasn't in stock when I purchased it, and it's really annoying. I never purchase from this particular website for this very reason, but once it's delivered, we will talk about it together. So recently, I've actually just been loving not doing my eyebrows. I like the whole very thin and sparse eyebrow look. I know it's not to everybody's taste, but it's just what I like. And since we're doing makeup that looks like my makeup, that's what we're doing today. So pretty much all of your face brushes are now kaput. You can put them wherever you put your dirty makeup brushes. The one you want to keep behind is your concealer brush. This is going to be a very quick spiel. Most of the blue eyeshadow that I really love is expensive or limited edition, just to put that out there. This is the Milani eyeshadow primer. Don't love it, don't hate it. I am going to be using my Charlotte Tilbury Denim Dimension eyeshadow palette, pretty much just the mattes. I will go into this Robin's Egg blue, and I'm going to basically do a swoop out. So I'm starting at the front of my eye, and I'm going to cut over my eyelid, again tapping off on that paper towel, and I'm going to swoop pretty high out. I love this eyeshadow palette. If you can still find it, I do highly recommend it. It's like the perfect blue color scheme, colorway, whatever you want to call it. Pretty. Smaller brush, I'm going to pick up this navy blue, the darkest blue in the palette, tap off the excess, and we're going to place it into the inner eye and the outer eye with the idea that the outer eye is going to be blended out as well. Even though we are roughing in the eyeshadow here, you still want it to be relatively even on both sides. You take your first brush and you just start blending. And you really just want to let the eyeshadow go. You don't want to be too stiff about it. While I do this, let's talk. What have you guys been watching? Recently, we just finished Love is Blind Italy. I'm so sorry, but that show was bad PR for the Italians, I gotta say. I have never seen so much gaslighting in my life. It was concerning. I was filled with so much rage when watching. Giovanni is the worst person I've ever seen on Love is Blind for the seasons that I've watched in the countries that I have watched. It was pretty bad, you guys. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I would say trigger warning, honestly, for watching that Love is Blind Italy season. It is rough to watch. It really is. Other than that, it's like January, and I feel like TV programmers, that was my best to do air quotes, I'm just building up to the outside layer. I feel like these TV programmers release everything in December is like the launch period. So you watch everything over the holiday break, if you have a holiday break, and then you have nothing to watch for like a solid month because everyone is now holding off on releasing movies and stuff until Valentine's Day. But we do watch Fallout on Prime, and that's a weekly episode release. Love that show. I used to watch my brother play the Fallouts. I know they're going off the beaten track, but I do know some basic plot points in that video game. Kind of like The Last of Us. I don't watch The Last of Us because I watched him play I've already seen it. And if they're doing everything shot for shot like the video game, I've already seen it. I don't need to see it again. I was there when that ancient text was written, watching on a couch, not playing. You may be looking at my eyes and yet you may be panicking, truly, you may be panicking. But that's the beauty of how I do my personal eyeshadow looks. If makeup is too perfect, it looks off. It looks weird, especially when it's just an editorial look like this. If you actually saw the makeup that people do in campaigns and stuff for higher end brands, they get photoshopped, they get worked over, they aren't perfect until after the photo editing. So why do you have to be absolutely perfect? And we still haven't cleaned up our eyes. That's what this brush is for. This is the Pat McGrath Labs Blitz Sapphire Blue Eyeshadow. It's a glittery blue eyeshadow. It is the bluest blue glitter eyeshadow that I own. It is best applied with the finger, okay? So if you have nails, the texture of this isn't going to be the same, but I just swirl it around, tap it off on my paper towel, and I'm going to push it onto my eye. If you have the Pat McGrath Mothership 1, this is a very similar shade. This one is a bit more electric than the blue eyeshadow in that Mothership palette. And because of your eyelashes, it will flick blue down onto your face. That's also how I do my makeup. I never panic. Once you panic, that's when things go wrong. But if you maintain your control, things work out. For the little specks of glitter, I use tape, you guys. Scotch tape. I put it on my hand to just get the stickiness off of it. Wrap it around my finger, and I use my middle finger to kind of hold it. And then everything that wants to stick to it will stick to it. The things that don't want to stick to it, it's fine. I'm going to just gently rub the crease line. I'm going to go in with Black Mirror as my eyeliner. This is a smudge brush, and just picking it up and going on the lash line. Now, with the same brush, we're going to smudge a black line into the lower lash line. And then with this brush that we used to pick up the navy blue, just gonna roll it to kind of get off most of that dark blue. I'm going to take this denim blue, and we're going to use this denim blue to smudge out that black line. Okay, this is how we are looking. This is the Dazzleshaow liquid in Crumbled Diamonds. I'm going to take this to my eye, but I pick it up on a disposable spoolie. That way the color of the liquid in here doesn't get compromised. And we will basically be swooping it into this part of the eye. So picking it up, and swoop. Pick it up, and swoop. And I'm actually just bringing it a little bit more onto my eyelid because it's really pretty. Oh, so beautiful. So whatever concealer is left on your palette, or if you need more, put like a tiny dot and pick some up. And then you're quite literally just going to swoop up your eye. And see how that just did that to our face. Now we do eyelashes, which I'm going to skip over, but I do a lash curler, and I'm going to go in with my Lancome Lashy Doll. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to skip that part. I have so many videos of myself doing my mascara that there's plenty of content on here. The part of my routine that I always do is I always do my lower lashes. So if you really want to get my look, you have to do the lower lash line. I know for some, for the way that some eyelashes grow, you can't really because it'll just smudge no matter what. So obviously, you know your face the best, but I'm just saying if you want it to be a very Clairekookoo'd look, you gotta do the lower lashes. Keen eyes would notice that I have left the waterline empty, and that is because we go in with a red waterline. If you go to my shorts tab, or if you only watch my shorts and this is the first long form that you're watching of mine, I always use a red in my waterline. I would say half the time. And I'm going to take a gel liner to just fill the waterline at the top, just so we hide that skin color a little bit more. And then if you want that red waterline to last all day, go in with a true red eyeshadow and just carefully pat it into your waterline. Because I don't have the perfect waterproof pencil. Patting a eyeshadow in there will just help seal it. And those are the blue eyes. For lips, I'm just going to do a little bit of MAC Prep and Prime. You do not want to overuse this lip product. Use it very sparingly. I'm going to take Acting Natural onto my lips. Blend out the sides. Because it's close to my skin tone, I like to get that blurred edge with it. Where does it start? Where does it stop kind of look? And today let's have some fun. I'm going to take some of the Retro Matte Caviar onto that same brush, and this is going in the center of your mouth. This is GirlCult Black Tea, which is like a blacky plum, and do the same thing. Take your finger, try to tone it down by patting the bullet. And there's the lip. Obviously, if you do not like the lip, don't do it. Go in with whatever you want on the lips. The more kind of neutralized and blank your lips are, the more focus is going to be pulled to your eye, which is why I usually pair a blue eye look with something very, very concealer lip or the opposite and it's like a red lipstick. But today I felt like doing something a little bit different, because why not? Makeup is fun. If you feel like your face is still a bit dry or needs some more hydration, you can finish it off with some Fix Plus. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Like I said, it's dry in here, but it's not that dry. It is still just 22%. But this is the finished makeup look. This is for all of you voters out there that really wanted me to do my kind of a style makeup. I hope I have inspired you to pick up some color and put it on that face of yours. Everything I used on my face in this video will be in the description box down below as always. If you liked this video, please give it a like. I don't know that you liked it if you don't do that. Also consider subscribing, that way I can pop up in your feed more often. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Both are Clairekookoo, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!